Right. Okay. So come and stand somewhere in the middle of your mat, doesn't matter where, hands on your hips, one foot behind the other, and you're just going to roll on the top of your toes, okay? So just to reiterate, especially for those of you that might have had the luxury of crawling out of bed only about half an hour ago or something lovely like that, just make sure that you take these warm-ups fairly seriously. Let's change direction, go the other way. And the reason that we do them is because we're just trying to reset the balance in the structural body. So the ligaments, the connective tissues have all got a little bit softer overnight as we've slept. All right, so swap feet, take the other foot behind, and then rolling again. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure onto the top of the foot and really get the big toe joint. Give it a little bit of a workout here. So yeah, so by standing up, by kind of grounding ourselves, by warming up the joint spaces, loosening, freeing them, we're helping just to reset the balance. Change direction, so go the other way. Good. And so for those of you that do like to practice early in the morning, so bring your feet together now, please. Big toes together, outside edges of the feet parallel. Bend the knees, and then it's just the knees that are going to go in circles. So yeah, for those of us that like to practice early in the morning, and for me personally, it's not every day. Some days I wake up and I feel quite stiff and quite tired, and I'd much rather be practicing later in the morning or even in the afternoon. And it's important to listen to those cues. If you have the luxury of time, which interestingly we do at the moment, so we can choose where to slot our practices in rather than trying to squeeze them into the rest of the day. Change direction, go the other way. Let's do about 8 to 10 circles with the knees. Look down at your feet. Make sure that you're watching your feet and just enjoy the connection of your feet against the earth. Okay. And then gently come up to stand. Give the legs a brief shake out. And then back to big toe joints together, outside edges of the feet parallel, knees bent. I'll turn around to the side so you can see. I don't want the legs to move now. I just want your pelvis to swirl in a circle. So if you think about your tailbone out behind you, I'd like you to draw a circle in the air with your tailbone. And by doing this, we're starting to work the pelvic floor a little bit and the deeper core muscles in the abdomen. So this is a great core exercise. And if you're feeling a little bit weak in that area, then incorporate this regularly. Okay. Take a breath, just come up to stand for a moment, squeeze the inner thighs together, open the palms, lift the heart, look up. And then gently come back down. So back to the same position, and you're going to go the other way now. All right, so keeping the knees still, keeping the ankles fairly still, and drawing the navel in towards the spine as much as you can. Good job. And then we'll come back up to stand again. This time give the legs a little bit of a shake out. And you're going to link your fingers together, elbows together, forearms pumping up and down like pistons. Great for the wrists. Really important given that we do so much with our hands or on our hands for this early morning practice. I'm going to do my best to stick to timing this week. So we will finish after 45 minutes as scheduled. So you can maybe, if you've got to be at your desk by 9 o'clock and logging in, hopefully you can be getting on with doing that on time. Okay, swing out your arms and then change the link of the fingers and go the other way. So same movement. And so for those of you that practiced on Tuesday, we had a little bit of a focus with the shoulders. I hope your shoulders appreciated all that hard work that you did. And so yeah. And we're going to do a little bit more of a focus, going to keep it as our theme for today's lessons and a little bit for tonight as well. So now standing with your feet about hips width apart, you're going to go backwards with one arm. As though you're swimming backwards, just let that begin to happen. Make sure you've got some space. And then with the other arm, you're going to go forwards. Okay? So don't worry if it doesn't quite work. Don't worry if you get a bit so that both arms are going the same direction. Don't worry, don't panic. As long as you're moving. Make sure that the feet stay grounded and that you've got a little bit of movement in the sides of your waist. Good. Okay, now swing it out from side to side a couple of times. A little bit of softness into the knees. Take care of any walls or furniture around you. Looking over your shoulder and just starting to free the thoracic spine here. Just imagine the middle of your back releasing. Okay, and then slow it down. And then with the other, we're going to start with the other arm this time. So the other arm is going to go in that backward circle. And then the stationary arm is going to go forwards. And see if you can maintain the arms going in opposite direction. This is great for the brain. It's great to work both hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Remember, the left side of your brain controls the right side of your body and vice versa. Okay, good job. And then swing it out again. Make sure you've got a bit more space now. Softness into the knees. Turning the head to look over the shoulders as you swing. Arms nice and long. Turning the rib cage. Creating all that freedom in the spine, as well as kind of working with gravity to encourage the spine and the ligaments that run crisscross all through the spine to just settle a little bit, to become stronger or to work again, because basically we've laid down all night and so they've had a little bit of a break, which they need. It's appropriate, it's absolutely necessary. But now, before we come to do any big stretching, we need to reactivate them, need to wake them up again. And so that's what we're doing right now. So that's why it's so important. Okay, so slow it down, gently come to a stop. And when you do, drop your chin towards your chest, maybe close your eyes. Just lengthen the back of your neck. Allow the shoulders to slightly curl forwards. You're not coming into a forward fold, just kind of going with the natural pull down. Hands feel heavy, the arms feel long. And then sweeping your chin across towards one shoulder, going really slowly with this. And then sweeping the chin across towards the other shoulder. And allowing the back of the neck to lengthen and open up. Okay, and just go from side to side a couple more times. And then when your neck's back into the center, make sure that your toes are pointing sort of forwards, maybe a little bit wide, your feet are a bit wider than your hips. Bend your knees, keep your chin close towards your chest, let your arms dangle down. Start to draw the navel in and let yourself just dangle down towards the ground. And when you get there, hold the opposite elbow, hang the head and sway the body from side to side. Okay, chin to chest. And as you sway the body from side to side, just feel the outer hips starting to activate and the spine beginning to lengthen a little bit more. And then you can slowly come back to the center and release the elbows and roll yourself gently back up to stand. Good job. Okay, come and stand at the top of your mat. So we're going to just take some simple sun salutes, just similar to last week. We're not going to do worry about A or B. as we did last week, but we're just going to take maybe 3 rounds of a simple sun salute, and then we're going to keep going with the flow and keep adding bits in, okay? So it will follow a pattern and you'll maybe be able to drop into a kind of rhythm of it. So let's just start with the hands at the heart and the feet about hips width apart with the toes pointing forwards. And then close your eyes. Relax your shoulders down to, let the shoulder blades slide down the back of the body, let the tailbone point down towards the heels. And just for a moment, take a couple of breaths in. And if you can, find a Ujjayi breath where you're just constricting the back of your throat slightly and making your breath just a little bit more audible. Okay. See if on your exhalations you can lift your pelvic floor now. So breathe in easily, and then as you breathe out, lift the pelvic floor, draw the lower navel in. Keep it lifted, keep it held as you breathe in, and keep holding it as you breathe out. Keep squeezing and lifting the pelvic floor, and maybe notice if anything has changed at your feet. Oftentimes when we start to activate the pelvic floor and the lower abdominal muscles, the feet start to feel a little bit more grounded. Okay, so we're going to see if we can maintain a little bit of Mula Bandha on the exhalations, and I'll cue you into that, but do try to remember it for yourself as well with your practice. Okay, so hands still at the heart, wait for an inhalation, and gently lift the hands straight up to the ceiling. Look up towards your thumbs, and then as you breathe out, bring the hands down through the center line and hang down towards the ground. Uttanasana, first big strong forward fold. Then we're going to take the left foot back, leave the right foot where it is, and drop the left knee onto the floor. Come up onto the fingertips, lift the heart. Place the palms on the floor, take the right foot back into a high plank position, please. Knees down onto the floor, bottom backwards towards the heels, and swoop the chin and the chest through for Cobra pose. Firm legs, tops of the feet on the ground. Coming down, breathing in, coming up to all fours, and then downward facing dog. Just pause here for a moment, have a little bit of a pedal through the heels, maybe sway the hips from side to side, and encourage your body weight into the index finger and the thumb side of your palm. Okay, so we're going to move the left leg in a minute. So when you can, ground through your right heel, breathe the left foot up behind you and step it through to the top of your mat. Pop the right knee on the ground and come up onto the fingertips and lift the heart as high as you can. Then come up with the back knee and step to the top of the mat, breathing out. As you breathe in, half forward fold, so hands onto the shins, look forwards. Breathe out, fold down. Hands come together, breathe in, come all the way up to the ceiling, look thumbs, and then straight back down to the ground, Uttanasana. Step back, left foot again, right knee onto the ground. This time, hands onto the top of the thigh. Point the tailbone down if you can, lift the front of the heart, press the palms into the knee. Good. Come back down, lift up the back leg, step back to a plank and hold this. Then knees down, this time chin and chest down, please. Bottom stays in the air. Then swoop forwards for a little Bhujangasana, tops of the feet on the floor, legs firm, buttocks firm, and then come down, hands and knees, tuck your toes under, and pause again. Take a couple of breaths here, pedal if you need to, or just find a really nice, stationary, stable down dog. Think about now pressing into the index and thumb, finger side of your hands, and just gently wrapping the back of the shoulder blades around the back of your body. So it's like they're giving your ribs a bit of a hug. Draw the navel in as you breathe out, lift the sit bones a little bit higher, ask the heels to drop a little bit lower. Good, take a big breath in, left foot up to the sky. Step it through to the top of your mat, right knee down. Hands onto the top of the knee and press into the top of the knee. Tailbone down, heart lifts, and just feel that lovely space starting to grow. Then hands come down to the floor, lift up the back knee, step forwards, hang down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold down again. Get a little bit lower if you can, and then breathe in, arms wide, all the way up. And then straight down, next round. All the way down, Uttanasana. This time, hands onto the floor, bend the knees. If you can jump back, go for it. If not, just step back, okay? Those that want to, you can do knees, chin, chest, or through. Or those that are taking maybe a half chaturanga, turn the inner elbows forwards. Leave the elbows almost moving back, but the shoulders come forwards. Maybe you want to tuck your toes under. And then come up into an upward dog. So arms nice and long, lift the chest, legs firm, tops of the feet on the floor. Then with soft knees, come back into downward dog. Let yourself just pause there for a moment, hang in downward dog, lift the sit bones, lengthen the arms, press into the thumb, index finger, wrap the shoulder blades around the back of the body, navel in. Okay, so looking forwards towards where your thumbs are and gently hopping or stepping your feet up, folding down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, lift the sit bone. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, hands come wide and all the way up above your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, just take a moment, take a breath or two. If you need to pause for a little sip of water, do that now. For those of you that are just waiting, just have a little moment to close the eyes and to enjoy the breath settling, the heart beating behind your hands. Well done, everyone. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of arm work in now. So what I want you to do is take both arms out in front of you and bend your elbows. So it's like we're doing an eagle arm. Right elbow, please, on top of your left and wrap the hands around or hold the opposite shoulder. So just work at your own pace here. Do what you can. You're still at the top of your mat. I'd like you to inhale and breathe the hands up. Exhale to lower them down. Twice more, please. Breathe in, lift the hands. Breathe out, bring them down. One more time. Inhale, lift the elbows. And exhale, bring them down. Okay, so leave the arms in this position, but you have the option to release them anytime you need to. Take your body weight into your right leg, bending your left knee, and you're going to step the left foot back to the end of your mat, coming into a high lunge with the elbows lifted. Just hold this here and breathe, and then release the hands and bring the back heel down, arms come up to warrior two. Look down the right fingertips into the distance, make sure the left toes have spun a little bit. And then we're going to cartwheel the hands down to the floor. So right hand comes down, left hand comes down, left heel spins up. As we take the right foot back, take it all the way up into the air, please. Reach up through the right foot. Just hold this here. You can turn the body a little bit to the side to get even more height. Spread out the toes if you wish. And then pop the right foot down onto the ground and lengthen through the line of the back body. Sit bones stay lifted, heels stay high. And then take the right foot up into the air again. Float the shoulders over the wrists. So you're in, and you can drop your back foot down so it's sort of in line with your hips. Okay, hold this arm three position plank, and then you're going to come into an upward dog or cobra. So come onto the tops of the feet, let the hips float down, let the heart lift up, and then backwards into downward dog if you can. Good job. Right foot lifts up towards the sky, step it up to the top of your mat. Pop the left knee down, Bring both hands, actually bring them onto the top of the knee first of all. So you can really feel yourself growing out of the pelvis. Tailbone can lower, front of the ribs in, hands onto the top of the thigh, lengthen the arms, and then lunge the hips a little bit if you can. Keep that same lifted feeling in your abdomen and take your arms up. Breathe here. Good job. Breathe in again. As you breathe out, bow the hands down to the floor, lift up the back knee, step forwards into a forward fold. Bring the hands behind the back of your body, and if you can, link the fingers or just hold the opposite hand. Those of you with more mobility, roll the shoulders up and back, keep the heads of the shoulders pointing forwards. Good job. From here, bend the knees, lift the heart, and as you begin to lift the heart, release the hands to Utkatasana. Look forwards, keep the shin bones falling forwards, the sit bones sinking down, and then breathing in, coming up, hands to heart. Good job. So we're going to do that little sequence on the other side. So when you're ready, breathe in. Oh, actually, forgot the arms. Arms out in front. Elbows bent, left on top of right this time, and wrap the arms around or hold the shoulders. 3 breaths, breathe in, elbows lift, breathe out, elbows lower. And again, breathe in and out. One more time, breathe in, and then bring them down. Body weight into left leg, bend the left knee a little bit and stride the right foot all the way back for balancing warrior, and come into it, lifting the elbows as high as you can, pressing back through the right heel, bending the left knee. Then spin the right heel down towards the ground, so you're into a warrior 2 position, and you can release the arms out to the sides. Look down the left fingertips into the distance. Hold this nice and steady. Good job. Take another breath here. And then let's cartwheel. Left hand comes down, spin up the back heel, lift, bring the right hand down to the floor as well. And you're going to take the left foot all the way back, up into the air. Reach it up, hold it there, spin the body a little bit to the side if you need to. And then float the shoulders over the wrists. Lower the foot a little bit to the height of your hips. Good job. Draw the navel in. And then come onto the top of the left foot, onto the top of the right foot. Start to firm the legs, firm the bottom, but lower the hips. Press into the floor through the arms and lift the chest. Good job. And then with soft knees, come back into downward dog and hold it here for a couple of breaths. Navel in, sit bones lift, arms nice and long. Well done, everyone. Okay, so breathe in, left foot, lift it up. Step it through to the top of your mat. Bring the right knee down when you're ready. Coming up, hands onto the top of the knee. Press there, tailbone down, navel in, so you feel nice and firm here, nice and long, and then you can bring the arms up and let the hips lunge, but don't lose the connection of the space in the sides of your waist. Good. Breathe in, and then hands come down to the mat. Lift up the back knee and step forwards. You can have your feet apart or together. Hands come behind your back if you can, or just rest them onto your back, it doesn't matter. If you want to roll the shoulders back, go for it, get that little bit of mobility and openness for the chest. Drop the chin towards the chest. And then, when you're ready, start to let the knees bend, the shins come forwards, the bottom sinks down, and then you lift the heart, release the arms, Utkatasana. Hold this here. Keep breathing. Then breathe in, stand up, and bring the hands to the heart. Good. Just take a moment if you need to. Have a little sip of water again. Or just stand with maybe your eyes closed, your breathing settled. Okay. Good. So let's keep going. Bring the arms out in front of you again. Elbows bent, right elbow on top of left, wrap hands or hold shoulders. Breathe in, take the arms up. Bend the right knee and stride the left foot back. Come up as much as you can as you breathe in again. And then as you breathe out, spin the left heel down for the warrior two position. Your body turns slightly to the left. And as you breathe out, bow forwards into the space where your left foot should be near the top of your mat. We're going to do this again. So breathe in, come all the way up. And breathe out, come all the way down. Good. One more time, breathing in. Lifting up, front knee bent, back leg straight. Breathe out. Lovely. And staying down here, you're going to release your arms and take your hands either side of your front foot, spin up the left heel. As you step back, right foot goes straight up into the air behind you. Bend the knee, stack the right hip on top of the left hip, and look out underneath your right arm. Very nice. Float back so that your hips are level, straightening out your right leg. Shoulders over the wrists again, hold this three-point plank position, and then top of the foot onto the floor, left top of the foot, upward dog. Remember, you can always substitute this with cobra. And then coming backwards into a downward dog again, lengthening through the back body, just pausing here for a breath or two. Good. Breathe the right foot up to the ceiling. Step it through to the top of your mat, please. Leave the back knee off of the floor, but you have the option to put it down if you want to. Bring the hands all the way up. Okay, hands come behind. Link the fingers, roll the shoulders back. Good. Let the front hip sink a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to step to the top of the mat. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, left foot comes forwards and fold all the way down, chin to chest. Bend both knees, let the bottom sink a little bit. Lift the heart, and as you do so, release the hands, bring them up. Keep the gaze forwards, Utkatasana. Good, breathe in, stand up straight, reach up, and bring hands to heart. Breathe, close your eyes, and enjoy. Good. Okay, other side. Arms out, elbows bent, left on top of right, and wrap the hands. Move the elbows away and up if you can. Hold this position here, body weight into the left leg, big stride to the end of the mat through the right foot. Lifting up through the elbows when you get there, feeling that nice big stretch in the front of the right hip. Well done. Spin the right heel down towards the ground. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, bowing like a humble warrior with eagle arms towards the top right-hand corner of your mat. Breathe in, grow up, all the way up, lift the elbows, take a back bend. Breathe out, folding forwards into the left hip. Good, one more time, coming up. And down as you breathe out. Well done. Once you're here, release the hands, frame the top, the left foot, spin up the right heel, and step the left foot all the way back and up to the ceiling. Bend to the knee, stack the left hip on top of the right hip, And look underneath the left arm as you open into the side of your waist. Then bring the hips level. 3 position plank, shoulders over the wrists, please. Okay, top of the foot comes onto the floor on both feet. Lower the hips, but press the arms, lift the chest, lift the chin, and then gently come back into downward dog. Very nice. Just pause here. Find your steady, find your breath. Nice. Good job. So let's take the left foot up to the sky. Breathe in. Step it through to the top of your mat. Option to put the right knee down if you need to, or coming up. So let's bring the hands all the way up, balancing warrior. And then bring the hands behind, link the fingers, roll the shoulders back again, chest opens. Lower the hips, bend the left knee, press the right heel back. Good. Then with a little bit of a lean forwards, you'll get your momentum to step the right foot up and come into a forward fold, letting the head hang and the shoulders roll back. And then Tadasana, so knees bend, sit bones sink, arms lift alongside the ears, but look forwards. Then breathe in, coming all the way up, hands to heart. Good job. Close your eyes for a moment. Let the breath settle. Okay, so we're going to do one more round. So one more on each side. Maybe coming in with a couple more poses, and then we'll do some finishing stuff to just stretch out at the end. Okay, arms out in front. Bend the elbows. Right on top of left, wrap them back around. Breathe the arms up. As you breathe out, step back. Left toes tuck up onto the floor. Lower the hips. Lift up from the sides of the waist. As you breathe, gently bring the left heel to the floor, and as you breathe out, bowing down towards the top left-hand corner of your mat. Breathe in, coming all the way up again. Breathe out, folding down. So go at your own pace. Breathe in, coming up. And then this time, as you breathe out, come down. And release the arms, and we're going to walk the hands around to the left. So you're going to see my bottom, apologise for that. You're going to come into Prasrita Padottanasana, so wide, so position your feet really wide apart down to the edges of the mat. Turn the toes in slightly and allow yourself to fold forwards towards the ground. Tilt the pelvis, lift the sit bones. Sort of think about opening the sit bones away from one another. Okay, then coming up, maybe so that your fingertips are on the floor. You can look slightly forwards. Then if you want to, you have 2 options. You can either bring your hands to your ankles and fold back down, or you can bring the hands behind your back, so you might need to lift up higher, roll the shoulders back, and then again, fold back down. And you're going to hold this here for a breath. Very good. Take one more breath, please. Keep lifting the sit bones, press into the outside edges of your feet. And then come up to about halfway on your next inhale. Release your hands. Walk your hands around to the top of your mat, spinning your right toes so they point to the front, and lifting up your left heel. So you're in that really nice big long lunge. Good. Now we're going to place the palms on the floor, and you're going to take the right foot up into the air behind you. So all the way up for 3-legged dog. Bend the right knee, bring the heel to the bottom, stack the hips, look under the arm. And then for those of you that like a little bit of wild thing, you're going to bring the hips back level. The foot comes underneath the left leg and onto the floor at about 7 o'clock on a clock face, if your left foot's 6 o'clock. And you're spinning your toes and lifting your hips and coming up into a back bend. Then come back, spinning on the balls of your feet and taking the right foot up into the air. Float the shoulders over the wrists for your 3-limbed plank. Top of the right foot on the floor, top of the left foot, legs firm and strong, then lower the hips, arms lift, and then backwards into downward dog. Good. Right foot lifts to the sky. Step it up to the top of the mat. Balancing warrior again, breathe in. Remember, option to put the knee on the floor. Hands can come behind your back. Roll the shoulders backwards if you can, open the chest. And then step forwards to a forward fold. Breathe in, Tadasana. Breathe out, hands to heart. Very nice. One more round to go. We need to get on with it. Arms out, elbows bent, left on top of right, wrap them round. Breathe in, arms lift. Breathe out, right foot steps back. Lift the elbows, spin the right heel, breathe out to the top left-hand corner of the mat. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, fold down. Good, one more time, breathe in. As you come down, breathing out, release the hands, walk them round to the middle of the mat, turning your feet as you go. You might need to take the feet a bit wider apart. You could just simply fold down, or you could come straight into the arm position, arms behind your back. Maybe a reverse prayer pose would be nice here instead of linking the fingers. Just hold this here for a breath. Good job. And then inhale to halfway, release the hands, walk the hands back towards the left foot, spinning so the left toes point to the top of the mat, the right heel lifts with the toes pointing forwards. Good. Place the palms, step the left foot all the way up into the air. Bend the knee, stack the hips, look under the left arm out to the side. You can either stay here if you want, or option for wild thing where you bring the foot underneath the leg, spin the toes out to the sides, lift yourself up. Nice. And then coming back, left foot goes all the way up to the sky. Shoulders float over the wrists. Top of the foot on the floor. Right top of the foot on the floor. Firm the legs, firm the buttocks. Hips drop, but don't let them touch the mat. Arms long, lift the chest, lift the chin. And then rolling back, downward dog, last one. Left foot lifts to the sky, you've got this. Step through, coming up to balancing warrior. Well done, you're doing great. Hands behind the back, maybe hold the elbows instead of linking the fingers and rolling the shoulders back. Let the front knee bend. And then stepping forwards, hanging forwards into a forward fold. Tadasana, bend the knees, sweep the arms, bring the breath up. And bring the hands to the heart. Breathe out. And just take a real good sigh of relief, like a sigh. And maybe blubber the lips like a... That feels so good. Breathe in. I'm going to do it again. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Well done. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes. We're just going to come down to finish off on our mats. So take your water with you if you need a quick drink. Right, okay. Come and sit with your legs out in front of you. Breathe in, bring the hands all of the way up. And as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis, bring the hands down. Find your feet if you can, if not your ankles, your shins, your calves, whatever feels comfortable. Try to draw the navel in so that you can move it along your legs. Let the chin fall towards the chest as much as you can. And just for a few breaths, just allow the body to fold forwards. into a Paschimottanasana. And you might be thinking, yeah, I've moved my body a lot, but it still feels a little bit stiff. And it just gives you an idea of how long it takes for our bodies to kind of wake up and be mobile in the morning. Okay, breathe in, come all the way back up. Look at where your knees are on the mat and then put your feet there, please. Bring your feet and your knees together. Hug them with your left hand. Take your right hand behind you and turn to look over your right shoulder. Keep breathing and lifting up through the spine, sitting evenly on the sit bones. And just taking a few more breaths. Nice. As you inhale, come back to the center. Wrap the right arm around the legs, take the left hand behind, turn to look over the left shoulder. And again, sit fairly evenly if you can. Just turning the head, but not forcing, not over squeezing the body. Just take it at your own pace. Good. And then on an inhalation, coming back to the center. And maybe just keeping a hold of the knees and dropping the chin towards the chest again. Seeing how that feels. You might want to stay here. You might feel that you can walk your feet away, maybe give the thighs a hug this time rather than the knees. And if you want, you can even slide your feet further away and come back down into a forward fold of your choice. Chin to chest and soften the gaze. Smooth the skin across your forehead and just allow the body to quieten a little bit. Okay. Then as you inhale, gently release and come all of the way up. Good job. Just bring the hands behind you onto the floor. Roll the shoulders back, lift up the chest. Good job. If you can, if you want to, point the toes, lift the hips, come up into a reverse plank, looking up towards the ceiling. Just hold this here for another breath or two. Good job. And then gently come down. All right, now sit cross-legged, please. Just take the hands up above your head. Link your fingers one last time. Turn the palms inside out and reach upwards towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, take a side bend over towards one side. Come up, take a little side bend over towards the other side. Come back to the center, lower the hands, still with the palms inside out. Really press the palms forwards, drop the chin towards the chest, and allow the back of the body to stretch. Okay, and then lifting the hands all the way back up to the ceiling. Release them out wide to the floor and just simply your fingertips on the ground behind you as you roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. Good job. Now, those of you that want to take a little Shavasana, you're very welcome to. I'll talk you into it and then I'll end the meeting. If you want to hang around, if you need to talk to me, just wave at me or put a chat on the bottom. Those of you that need to go off and get on with your day, you're very welcome to end the meeting and I will see you again soon. Remember, there's yin tonight at 8:30. And those of you that are coming down into Shavasana, maybe get something on you, maybe a blanket, maybe a jumper, so that you can settle yourself down, but you want to be remaining in that lovely warm place. Try not to let your body cool down too quickly. And in our normal Thursday morning class at the Cyclo Park, we wouldn't take very long for Shavasana, just a moment just to allow the spine to sink and soften and almost just to give a little bit of quietness, an opportunity for some stillness before we buzz about with the rest of our day. So find yourself coming down onto the mat. And just taking a breath Releasing like that. It's okay, it's all good. We can let the breath out. Nice. And just allow the legs to feel longer, the body to be softer. And just send a little bit of gratitude out to that body of yours that has worked so hard. Again, it keeps showing up. It keeps on delivering. We have these amazing bodies that are so capable of strength, of vitality, of healing. Know that every time you step onto your mat to practice, or any time you do some exercise, you're just giving something back to the body that works so hard for you. Take another breath in and out here, and if you want to stay lying down for a little bit longer, please take this opportunity too, if you have got that opportunity before the day comes crowding in. For those of you that want to finish with me, I'm going to bring the class to a close now, so you can gently have a stretch out and bend your knees and maybe roll over to one side so that we can finish together. Okay, just come up to sit comfortably, sit easily. Take your fingertips down to the floor by your sides. Lovely big breath in when it comes, looking up towards your thumbs, and then breathe out. Bring the hands down to your heart. Close your eyes for a moment, relax and soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Just breathe in and breathe out. And think about some of the things that you feel grateful for this morning, personal to you. See if you can use this sense of vitality and positivity so that the people or the things that you feel grateful for, they can feel that energy from you too. So then let's together take a breath in and lift the hands to the third eye. And as we breathe out, we'll share namaste. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to practice with me this morning. And